Hi guys, this is Donna with Love Rocks, and we're back with another tutorial. This is our Viking brothers, and I hope you enjoy. I want to take a second to start off by saying, for those of you who have already subscribed, thank you very much. And for those of you who have not, please like and subscribe. If you do that, you'll be supporting us so that we can make more videos, as well as making sure that you are one of the first ones to get the videos. You'll be notified as soon as I put them up. So I didn't have any large rocks in the darker color, so I decided to go ahead and paint this rock. It was the right size. So I just did a matte black for the backing, since the coloring on my Vikings were so light colored between the gray and the white. Pulled out the brushes, and here we go. I do show on the video the color schemes that I used, as well as some of the equipment. I wound up using a dotting tool. I used, of course, my small detail brush, and I think I used a round dotting implement, I guess you would call it. So as we're going through this, you'll see that it's really very basic. The biggest thing with doing these guys is just making sure that you get those highlights in. Anything on top you want to keep light, anything on the bottom you want to keep dark. I kind of played around with the axe and the shield and went through several pictures of real Viking equipment, trying to pick out what it was that I liked the best and what I thought would really give him some character. And this is what I came up with. You'll also notice that I'll show you 3 colors soon into the video. That is a pink and a taupe color, kind of a brown taupe, and some white, and that's going to be for his nose. So when you see that, keep in mind that those 3 colors is what I mixed to do his nose. When you're doing these gnomes, I think I've said this in one of my other videos, you've really got to kind of keep track of what's going to be layered on what. Most gnomes, you can do everything and complete it with his beard. This one's a little more strategic. So I went ahead and got the hood on him and got his clothes done. Got as much shading as I could in it. And then that shading around his horns, I got those completed. You'll notice that I'm going to completely finish his hat, completely, before I move on to anything else. I wanted his axe to lay on top of his mustache, but kind of weave its way through his beard. And then, of course, the shield is going to be on top of the beard. So if you just kind of take the time to figure out what you want to lay on top of what and what pieces need to be in front of or behind things, it'll help you to organize what items you're going to put in the detail on first. So for me, it was the helmet. I wanted to get all that detail in there and basically finish the helmet before I got into detail for much more. This is a round helmet, so just any place that you can put in your lights and darks, just do it in a rounded motion, and that will give you that look of roundness for his hat, since there's really no creases for it. Also with those horns, you're going to want to shade the bottoms of those horns, and that'll give that depth to those horns. So I have really enjoyed doing gnomes. I don't want to be known for gnomes. I don't want to put myself in that box, but I really enjoy them. And so I tend to do them more than I do anything else. I would love for somebody to give me some ideas in my comment box. Give me some ideas of different things that I can try. I was able to get some sandstone. My Dad was able to find some for me, and I'm going to start working on some special things for the sandstone. Up to this point, I have given all of my rocks away. I have given all the smaller rocks for different holidays and stuff. I've taken out and I've hid in parks or areas where a lot of people gather. If we're traveling, I'll take them to rest stops. And I've just left them, and on the back of them I have my Facebook page on there so that people who find them can post them. And that was what started me in doing the rock painting. I love doing that. Well, it soon morphed into people wanting to know how I did certain things. So that's when I decided to start the YouTube channel and do tutorials. And I have really thoroughly enjoyed it. Nothing is more amazing than to see somebody use your tutorial and then have their rock turn out so beautiful. And I've had pictures sent to me on several accounts of people who have done that. And that is very, very exciting to watch. And it makes me realize how much other people can love doing the same thing. But I still wanted to give my rocks away. I've been giving them away as presents or free to people who have asked for them. But that also morphed into people wanting specific things. And now, now I've got all these orders for people that want rocks, specific rocks, in specific things. And I love doing them. But because I am having to get extra supplies and I'm having to mail them at my cost, and I'm having to, take time away from my tutorials and things like that, I'm probably going to have to charge a small amount, at least a fee, to get them to the people that are asking for them. So with that said, after the first of the year, I think I'm going to wind up putting in an Etsy shop. It will not be, hundreds of rocks or anything like that. But when I do a tutorial, especially if it's something that I've never done before, I'll do 2 or 3 rocks, and I'll probably put those in my Etsy shop. And then whatever rock I use for the tutorial, I will continue to give that away in a drawing for anyone who comments on my video within 24 hours of the video being put out. And I'd like to keep that up. So I don't know that I'll really make a business out of it, but I need to cover some of my expenses. And this is the way I'm going to do it, because I love doing the tutorials. I love to see people get so excited about doing things that they didn't think that they could do. And honestly, guys, this stuff is very easy. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, because you can. Now, there are that small group of artists out there that are amazing. And I don't care how long I strive, I will never get to that level of expertise ever. They have got a talent that is just beyond anything I will ever find in myself. But that doesn't mean that the rest of us can't be fairly good at stuff. So I want to share that. I want to be able to show people that they can do this just as easily as I can. It's just a matter of having a little bit of understanding, laying a light on a dark, and laying something on top of something else to show the depth of where that item is in a picture. And again, I am not going to strive, nor will I ever be as good as some of the really, really, really amazing artists that I've seen on some of the channels. But I do well enough that I can teach it, and I can teach you to get at least up as far as I am. And then you can bring your, I guess, experience farther than that as you go and as you learn. So please stick with us and come back as often as you want. Know that After the first of the year, we're going to open up a small Etsy store. I will be honest with you, a lot of the push to do that is so that I have a organized process to get my items out to people, instead of having post-it notes all over my desk of who I have to send stuff to and forgetting anybody. And so that's another part of this. I don't ever want to promise somebody something and then forget that I had promised them something. So I hope that you enjoy this. I hope that you feel like you can try this. And if there's something in particular, I would love for you to comment and tell me what it is you'd like to see, and we'll get some more videos out there. My goal for this channel was to do one video a week. That was my verbal goal when I started this, and that's what I've told my friends and family. But up to this point, I've been actually in the background trying to get 2 out if at all possible. This is a couple of days. This video will come out a couple of days before Christmas. And so Christmas falls on a Sunday, which is usually the day that I put out my weekend video. And so we won't be putting a video out this Sunday. But starting again next week, I'll be getting a video out pretty regularly throughout the new year. And after the new year into 23, I will keep that promise of at least once a week. If I can push out 2, I'll do 2 a week. I do carry almost a full-time job on top of doing this, so it does take some time. My editing skills are not the best, so it can take me up to 2 days to get a video edited and ready to send out, on top of the 2 or 3 hours worth of filming for the video. I'm showing you the pin right here. This is the very fine pin that I think it's a 0.1 that I got from Amazon, and I did share the link in my last video for it, as well as the brushes and the paints. And I'll go ahead and put it in the description for this video as well. I really like this. I had stated in my last video that it came in a set of 6, 2 black, 2 gray, 2 white. I was incorrect. It actually comes in 2 black, 2 dark gray, 2 light gray. I went to use the white, or what I thought was the white, and it was light gray. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that. I just ordered some new brushes. I'm going to play with them a little bit, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and show those to you in my next video. They're really nice. I think I only paid about, I don't know, maybe $10 on Amazon for them, but they are definitely a higher quality brush than I've used before. And I just want to make sure that every time I try something new, I show you what it is, I critique it, and then it gives you one more example of things that you can try. When I started this, I started very, very inexpensive. Most of my stuff came from Walmart. Some of it was in my craft box that I'd had for other things. And I just used those types of things to start. I didn't know if I was going to love this or if it was going to be one of those things that I tried and it really didn't hold my attention. And so I didn't want to waste a lot of money until I spent some time with it. I still don't feel like you have to spend a ton of money with this hobby. I think that you can definitely buy higher end things if you decide that you like it and you want to stay with it. But I don't feel like you have to spend a lot of money for this. My brushes run me anywhere. I use the detail brushes mostly, and those run me anywhere from $3 to $10 for a small set. Those sets run anywhere from, I don't know, 4 to 8 brushes in a set. And I can tell you there's nothing in there that that I dislike. I like all the brushes. I get them from Amazon and I get them from Walmart both. My paints run me just under $2. Those come from Walmart. You can also get them from Hobby Lobby. They're just folk art paint. I do get the multi-surface, only because it seems to, I have found that it sticks better on your rocks. I have less trouble with any type of a smearing. It just seems to be a nicer paint. When I first started, I found myself using my paints thicker than I needed to. And if you watch the first, even the second video that I did, you can tell my paints are a little thicker. And now I am feeling a little more comfortable with them. I'm understanding the flow. It's starting to become a little more second nature. And so I've started to thin my paint a little bit. I just thin it with a tiny bit of water while I'm painting. I don't actually use a paint thinner at this point, but I do use a tiny bit of water and I'll thin it down while I'm using it. And that seems to give me a much smoother surface than what I was getting before. So folk art paints are what I'm using. We talked about the brushes. My dotting set, I actually bought a full dotting box. It had a whole bunch of things in it, things that I honestly didn't use. Dotting doesn't seem to be the thing. I started with it, but it doesn't seem to be the thing that really has held my attention. But I did like the little dotting tools that I got out of it. So on my last video, I attached a link for a small dotting set. I think there's about 8 sizes. It comes in like 4 or 5 tools, and there's 2 sizes on each tool. And I will attach it to this one as well. And I do really like the dotting implements, the little tools. So that might be something that you get. If you don't want to spend the money on a dotting tool, you can always use toothpicks, the end of a pencil, things around the house without any problems. And so don't feel like you have to get a dotting tool in order to do these things. So let's see, the last thing would be my spray. We've talked about this before in a couple of my videos. I use about 3 different sprays. I tend to use a less expensive spray just because I spray everything. I'm spraying rocks to hide. I'm spraying rocks to also give away. I don't spend a lot of money on my spray. I do have Krylon. The 2 times, I think it's called 2 times clear sealer. I like it. It doesn't seem to be a real heavy sealer, so I use it here and there when I'm spraying my rocks. I also have one that I got, I think I may have gotten it from Amazon. I will put the link to the second one, and it has a little heavier shine to it, a little heavier thickness to it when you seal it. My only suggestion when you're sealing is make sure you go slow and let everything really dry. So I'll let my paint dry, and then I will put a very thin layer of the spray over it. I let that usually dry overnight. And then the next day, I'll hit that top again with it. I'll let that dry all day. And then that evening, I'll flip it over. I will write whatever I'm going to write on the back of it. If I'm going to hide it, I will write where to go on my Facebook page to post it if you find the rock. And if I'm going to give it away, I usually will sign the back of it so that they have a signature from me. And then I will spray that, and I wind up spraying my rocks at least twice on the front, twice on the back. If it's something that's going to be outside, like in my garden or in front of the house, and I know it's really going to catch a lot of sun and a lot of water, I'll spray it a few more times. But I do make sure and spray it real good. And that's really the only things that I have at this point. So as you can see, there's not a lot of investment here while you're learning to paint and while you're learning to, I guess, just kind of dive into this and find out if you like it or not. After I went through my first set of brushes and I painted a lot of rocks with that first set. I decided I wanted to try a couple of other brush sets. And so the one that I decided to try is a little more expensive, but it's still under $10. And after I've used it for a couple of months, I'll come back and make sure and show you how well they stood up to the rocks. Rocks, they have all the crevices and they have a lot of edges, and they're rough on brushes. They really are, and especially if you're doing a lot of rocks. And so I will make sure and come back and show you what kind of damage it did to the brushes and how they held up compared to my little set that cost me under $5. I feel like, a $5 difference between brushes is nothing compared to if it will last a little bit longer. So we'll see. This is something that, again, I want to be able to just show you, and you guys have options to look at, and then you can make up your mind. Make sure that you're putting a small amount of highlight on each one of those buttons, the buttons up on his helmet as well as on his shield. It really brings the life to those rivets that are on there and makes them really pop out against those darker colors. I feel like I overworked his beard a little bit. The way it looks right now, I really like that. But I wound up going back in and putting a lot more beard in this one. And I don't know, I've had some who said that they liked it, and I actually don't prefer it. I wished I hadn't overworked the beard. But sometimes I get a little beard happy, I guess, and tried to get it in there just right. But, oh man, these two little guys, they just turned out so cute. I had no idea they would turn out to have so much personality. They're some of my favorites that I've done. So I'm hoping everybody enjoys them as much as I have. And just know that there are a lot of combinations out there that you could do. I saw a couple of pictures with some red-haired Vikings. I saw a couple of them with braids that came down that looked like they would be fun. So I'm probably going to play around with a lot of different looks when it comes to this little Viking guy. He's adorable. And I don't know how many people out there still enjoy Vikings, but it's definitely something that perked my curiosity. And then once I did it, I was hooked. I was hooked on him. So I hope that we're quite a ways in, and I'm hoping that you're still with us and still watching and still trying to figure out how to make yours look, a little the same, a little different, whatever you want to do. All of my tutorials, I basically say the same thing. Make sure that you use the colors that you want and the style that you want. My videos are more for technique, just to show you that, a few wisps of the brush can give you all kinds of different dimensions and can really bring you to just about any place that you want to go with these pictures. I think the hardest part is critiquing your own work. And I'm always harder on my own work than somebody else's, and you'll probably be the same way. So I tend to find all the things that I wished I hadn't have done or wished I'd done more of, and other people are like, no, that's looks good that way. So just know that there's no right way, no wrong way. Just get in there and start playing with it, and you're going to come out with your way, and your way is always the right way. I did want some of those wisps of that hair to come across the axe a little bit, and across his arm a little bit. It gave me more of a feeling that, that axe was laying between layers. I also wanted to make sure and put his hand in there, so that you could see that he was holding it. It wasn't just stuck in that beard. There was really, those shields have a handle on the back side, and that's what he's holding on to. So there really wasn't any way to get a hand on that side. But I think having the hand around the handle really ties it all together for us, and really pulls it out. You'll also notice that up on the top where his hat is, there's some black areas that kind of blend with the black background. And I needed some contrast there so that you could see that the metal holding the horns had a beginning and an end. So I gave it a tiny, tiny little bit of highlight. Also along the edge of the hat, I gave it a tiniest amount of highlight. So, just always remember that your best bet is always to bring a light in a dark and a dark against a light. It's just always going to have the effect that you want when you're pulling those colors against each other. So as we're wrapping this up, I want to make sure that everybody understands each video that we put out, the rock will go to a person who comments under this video. It doesn't do any good to comment in the Facebook page or other places that you saw me. It has to be this video. And we will do the drawing 24 hours after the video of anyone who left a comment. And then that rock will be sent out to whoever is drawn in that drawing. So please subscribe and like and comment when these videos come out so that you can get in those drawings and we can send you something. This one, like the last one, there will only be one rock that will be in the drawing. The other rock I've actually already promised to somebody. So there'll be one rock for this drawing, and make sure that you share with others. And again, always get out there and get some painting done. Man, that's the best part of all of this, is being able to paint and being able to share that with other people, whether it be sharing it with friends and family, or if you're one of those people who like to hide your rocks and share it with strangers. It's a great way to share the beauty of a rock and have a great time at it at the same time. I hope that everybody has a great Christmas. I hope everybody is safe this Christmas season. And there they are. I'm going to leave you with a little clue as to what the next rock is going to be. And it's probably going to be another gnome. So please stay tuned and come back. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.